Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So today was a tough day. It was a very, very tough day indeed. So what happened exactly? I'm going to try to sum it up and speculate what happened, but we may be having another threat that's coming. And I'm going to explain who and why that is. So let's talk about all these things and more. All right, let's do it, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are starting out tonight, not in such a good place, at 92.1, 92.2. We start out today at 95 something, almost 96, and we dropped all the way down to about 90,900, and that wasn't too long ago. Seems like that was the bottom, and we're climbing a little bit, although, man, we got a lot of FUD going on, a lot of FUD going on. That's why we came down, right? So, let's talk about it. Number one, this came out today. Markets did not like this. Trump says the tariffs on Canada and Mexico, this was postponed, or both of these were postponed for 30 days, right? Trump says, nope, they will go forward. I don't know what was talked about within the last month. Both Canada and Mexico, they deployed 10,000 troops at the borders, right, to stop fentanyl coming in. That was never really the big issue. The big issue was really, I don't know, probably trade and negotiating on trade and you know, import exports, or maybe there's other things that they were negotiating on. Obviously, that didn't go well. So this will go into effect. Okay. A lot of people don't like this. U.S. market didn't like this. Obviously, Canada and Mexico, they're not going to like this. Are they going to retaliate? Probably. Canada already said they will. Well, they already said that before, and then they halted it. Are they going to go through with it again? Is Mexico going to do the same thing? Right? How will this disrupt prices of goods? We know that inflation's going up. This Friday, we're going to get a PCE reading. Let's go measure inflation. It's probably going to show inflation going up. That's not what we want to see. Now, we start putting tariffs on goods, and other countries put tariffs on goods from U.S., and everyone's putting tariffs everywhere. What is that going to do to the price of goods? We don't know. We don't know. Short term may not be good. But long term, long term, it could be good. For example, look at this. Apple says they will build an AI server factory in Texas. Okay, part of the $500 billion U.S. investment. So that's good, right? Build in-house in the U.S. That's what Trump wants. This will be good, but it takes time. It takes a lot of time to build factories in the U.S., right? Manufacturing, to move it back into the U.S. It takes time to build. But if it does get companies to start building and manufacturing in the U.S., which will create jobs, right? That's a good thing. But in the near term and short term, before all these factories get built and jobs get created, we could see some prices go up, right? That's what the markets are worried about. So this came out today. That certainly didn't help things. That didn't help things. And there's other things that didn't help. What else is there? Obviously, the ByBit thing happened, right? But also, we have this, which I covered this morning. We still have this thing going on I don't know if it's stopped, but I covered this morning. Since last night to this morning, and I don't know, since then, we've been seeing Binance send enormous amount of Sol and ETH to their market maker, Wintermute, and they've been selling off millions at a time, every single hour, more and more and more and more and more and more. So this has many people speculating on whether or not Binance is manipulating the market. Are they doing this to drive people out, to lower prices, to liquidate people, right? We don't know. We don't know, but it's been happening and people are starting to pay attention to it. This Marty Party covered it. Crypto Rover this morning was covering it, so I talked about it. This obviously did not help on top of everything else. So this is also ongoing. That didn't help. And ETFs too. ETFs been seeing a lot of outflows recently. This morning I covered how a lot of Wall Street traders and funds, now they think they can't arbitrage anymore, so they're starting to see some outflows. I mean, they're starting to sell, so we're starting to see some outflows. But maybe there's a greater plan that's, oh, maybe this is part of a greater plan, I should say, that's being, I don't know, enforced right now, okay? Or being developed right now. And that is this. So this came out today. Citadel, okay, that name may be familiar to some of you guys. They are looking to jump in. All right, they want to be a liquidity provider to Coinbase, Binance, Crypto.com, basically all the exchanges, all the big boys. Now, Citadel does not have a good reputation. Well, at least not with the retail investors. Reason being, a lot of you guys know about what happened with Robinhood, with GameStop, you know, with Wall Street bets, all that. It was Citadel that was behind all that, right? Citadel, Melvin Capital, and they were the ones that was shorting the hell out of GameStop. And I believe it was Citadel that was also the ones that came out recently that said that they were shorting MicroStrategy. And that was peak of MicroStrategy. When they came out and said they shorted MicroStrategy, that's when MicroStrategy started going down. I believe that was absolutely peak of MicroStrategy when they declared that they started shorting it. So I would consider this a threat. I don't think this is a good thing at all. So maybe all this is just a plan that's been engineered to just bring things down, because if they want to be a liquidity provider, guess what? They have to buy a whole bunch of crypto. And they probably don't want to be buying at top. They probably want to be buying at bottom, at low prices. So maybe this has something to do with it. Maybe this has a lot to do with what's going on. Because if they want to enter, yeah, that's no good. That's no good. Anyone that's familiar with Citadel and anything they have done before, do not like them and do not like Ken Griffin. And yeah, crypto may be under threat. But you know, outside of all the scariness, okay, a lot of FUD out there. A lot of scariness out there. Despite all of it, we still have good stuff. Okay? It's not like all hope is lost. It's not like everything has collapsed and now it's time to pack it up and go home. Right? No, there are still a lot of great things happening. For example, SEC recently has been very pro. They've been dismissing their own cases. They dismissed a big case against Robinhood this morning. They dismissed the one against Coinbase. They may be dismissing a lot more proactively. And you could see Saylor and Robinhood and others are going to meet with the new crypto task force because they're trying to come up with a new framework for crypto. This is very positive. Very positive indeed. This is a new direction that the U.S. has never seen before. Okay? So this is an example of something good for this year. It's still very early. But if we get favorable regulations, favorable agencies, favorable people in charge, we could have very good things happen this year. Great innovations, great projects lead the way, especially in this country. So that's something great to look forward to. Okay. Even though there's a lot of scary things going on right now. You still have a lot of accumulation. El Salvador continues to buy. They bought 8 Bitcoin recently. I know compared to Saylor, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but hey, over time, now they have accumulated 8,000 Bitcoin. And even with today's fall, they still have $500 million worth of Bitcoin. 572 million. That's still a lot. It's not chump change. Okay, so you still have a lot of people that believe. And Saylor just bought 2 billion worth. I just covered that this morning. So you still have a lot of believers, long-term holders that will continue to keep loading up. So while you have some people selling, it could be Binance, it could be some on Wall Street selling off their ETFs, you do have others that are still buying. Look at this article. Spot traders buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin as institutional sell. Guess who's buying? The long-term holders, the long-term believers, the people that believe. So despite the ETFs having outflows, some on Wall Street just do not believe, you still have a lot of people that do believe, and they will continue to load up because they think dips are gifts. So definitely not all is lost. Okay, we still have a lot of great things happening. Like I've been saying, there are a lot of distractions. There's always a lot of FUD, volatility, but bottom line is they're distractions. Why do distractions happen? You got to think, what are the motives behind it? Why are big institutions or whales or market makers or whoever, or Citadel, BlackRock, whoever, why would they be manipulating the market, trying to scare you out of the market? I mean, just think about it. Why? What motive could they have? Could it be because they're about to become a liquidity provider and they need to load up on crypto? I would say that's a pretty big motive, right? Sometimes you just have to think about who benefits the most. And maybe there's others that we don't even know about that want to load up for cheap, right? Remember, if you're selling, someone else is on the opposite side buying from you, right? So there are definitely big parties behind the scenes that are loading up because they know better days are coming and Bitcoin is the future. And this is interesting. Bitcoin on exchange balance have hit the lowest level since 2018. So despite Bitcoin having a little bit more weakness, you could see the exchange balance is dropping like a rock. It just keeps going down and down and down and down and down. So it's not one of those situations where you're seeing massive inflow into the exchanges. You still see a lot of Bitcoin being taken off the exchanges. So that's quite interesting. So the scarcity factor is still in play. There are still loads of Bitcoin being bought and removed from the exchanges. Probably OTC. And they're being stored elsewhere. But it's still happening. Still happening. Now, outside of Bitcoin, what is going on, right? Obviously, I talked about this already. You have a tremendous amount of Sol and ETH being sold, but Sol in particular is super, super weak. Super weak indeed. Right now, Sol plunged to the lowest level since October as meme momentum cools. Man, that Argentina coin, Libra coin, and then the Dave Portnoy coin, man, they one after another really made things bad. And then, you know, and then all this made things even worse. And you know what? Pump.fund, they don't care. They're going to come out the new AMM because they know memes will recover, and you know, this is just a phase. Memes get hot, then they don't, and then they get hot again, right? So they're going through that. But Solana ETF, this could be the next catalyst to drive upwards. Solana, throughout its history, have seen a lot of FUD. A lot of FUD over the years, okay? Mostly tied to FTX, but before that, they had a lot of network outages. That was a FUD. You know, they had like a ton of network outages. They finally got through that. Then they got the FTX FUD. You know, they also had FUD around, was it being a VC coin? They had a lot of FUD over the years. But they have withstood all of it. Their metrics are outstanding, and they may be getting some huge ETFs soon. So despite the fact that they're down, they're not out. They're not out. Just remember, when FTX collapsed, Solana fell down to $8. And people thought they were dead. They would go down to zero, and they would go die. But they didn't. They found their footing at $8, and then they came all the way back to $2.90, and that wasn't too long ago. That was just like a few months ago, back in December or January. And then lastly, the good news about ByBit, they have dropped their new proof of reserve audit. They bought 700 million of ETH. They are 100% liquid, so everything is back to normal with ByBit. Good for them. But the destruction has been done. It's hard to believe that, you know, we were at 99.4. Friday, opening bell. We're 99.4, heading up to 100,000. Alts were recovering. It was looking good. The hack happened. And since then, we've been going down and down and down. And it's one thing after another, after another, after another. But that's the game of crypto. Whoever can last the longest benefits the most. All right, let's do some Q&A. However, when in doubt, zoom out. And when you do zoom out, and you're not zoomed in, and you zoom out, you look at it, you're like, oh, okay. We're still in this channel. We're still going sideways. We may be toward the bottom of the channel, but we're still going sideways. But yeah, I recognize this sucks. We were just at 99.4. Man, that hack could not have happened at a worse time. I still think there's something very wrong about the timing of that hack, but it happened. Lotto says, when I zoom out, my portfolio looks worse. Yeah, I recognize a lot of the alts, man. Alts, it's been painful to hold alts. A lot of alts have fallen back to November levels. Some have fallen to October levels. Yeah, a lot of the alts have gotten much, much weaker. So I feel the pain. But you take the bad with the good. You know, from November till now, we saw some tremendous gains with alts. I think we will see tremendous gains again. Not with everyone. I don't think this altcoin season is going to be the same as prior cycles. But we will see it again. Papa D, what do you think about Can Miner? The hardware or the company? I don't really follow a lot of the miners, if I'm being honest. This cycle has rewarded Bitcoin maxis. You know what? The Bitcoin maxis are laughing all the way to the bank this cycle because they have been right this cycle. Nothing has outperformed Bitcoin. My DCA portfolio also proves that. I've been showing that for quite a bit. And right now in that portfolio, nothing has outperformed Bitcoin except one meme coin, SNEC, but that's about it. Everything else has trailed. So that shows you how important and how strong Bitcoin is. Polkadot. I don't have anything good to say about Polkadot. I need Bitcoin to go down 60K to finally obtain one Bitcoin. I hope that never happens again. But if it does, that's like sell the farm kind of moment. I don't think anything about Pi Network. Badri Bala, thank you for that. Where did I get that Toyota jacket? Actually, I got invited to a Toyota event a couple years ago. To a ski resort in Utah. It was a really nice one too. And they gave me that jacket. It was like a custom jacket. It's a nice one. That's for my card channel. But that was like pre-COVID. And since then, they've been really stingy with their invites. So I haven't been invited to a Toyota event for a long time. DDT, new member. Good to see you smile, George. I have to kind of force it. Today is not like a smiling day. Eli Gee says, just lie to me and tell me everything will be fine. Well, that's what I've been doing this whole stream, telling you everything will be fine. So hopefully you've been listening. How do you like the new Forerunner? I haven't driven it yet, but I would say the new Forerunner does look better. At least the front end. The side and back kind of look the same. It's not any bigger. I wish they would make it bigger. Gold has been, Isaac Newton says, gold has been on a great run. Do you think crypto market will overtake gold soon? You mean Bitcoin or just crypto overall? Crypto overall eventually will, but the main thing is for Bitcoin's market cap to overtake gold. That will happen someday, probably next cycle. You know, maybe even not next cycle, maybe next cycle, because that, I don't know, maybe next cycle. It's going to take, because gold's been going up, so it's going to take Bitcoin close to like $900 or $1 million each to get to gold's market cap. So maybe not even next cycle, maybe the one after that. $900K, yeah. How low can XRP go and how high can XRP go? I have no idea. Theoretically, XRP could go to 0, and theoretically, XRP could go to 1 million. So, I mean, there's no upper or lower range. But I will say XRP is holding quite well, despite the fact today, everything's not doing good today, but you know, it's held pretty well for an alt. Tony, time to DCA. Fundamentals have not changed. I agree with you. Today, it's just like any other dip day. It's just this a little bit worse. Normally, in the past, when we have a dip like this, we tend to bounce harder. Like we are having a bounce, but we tend to have a harder bounce, right? Like this was a harder bounce. This was a harder bounce. We had like harder bounces before. So today we're having a slight little bounce. We're extremely oversold. Like the 4 hour, we're very oversold. 1 hour, we're very oversold. Even the daily, we haven't been this low on a daily since back here, since September when Bitcoin was at 54,000. So if you're looking at oversold levels, we are definitely very oversold. We should have a better bounce, but I feel like there's still, I don't know. I got to verify this. I feel like there's still someone that keeps selling. Today, I kept looking at the charts. I kept seeing how the alts wanted to jump up. Like the charts would show the alts wants to go up, but then like someone keeps dumping Bitcoin and causing them to come down. I feel like it's still the hackers, the ByBit hackers still trying to cash out, or someone that's trying to manipulate the market in some way, because it just didn't look natural. Lazaro said, I 4x Bitcoin so far. Is it time to put some of that in alts? I did rough math to get big gains. I need to get more money into alts. Well, obviously that's the theory. But seeing how today was, right, and the last few weeks, alts have been absolutely decimated versus Bitcoin. So are we going to see more weakness? If we are, the alts are going to get weaker versus Bitcoin. So you just don't know. It really depends. If you have that 50, 25, 25 ratio, then you should be good. But if you're like nowhere close to that ratio, then maybe getting closer to that would be better. Townsley, Trump wants to take credit for the next Bitcoin explosion. Give it time. Yes. I'm not sure Bitcoin is really on the top of his list at this point. He has made a lot of good pro-crypto appointees, but so far we haven't seen a lot of, I guess, big things. We're still waiting. I mean, the SEC has done some good moves so far. That's good. Still waiting for that Bitcoin reserve. So that's the big thing that we're waiting for. Him launching that meme, you know, I think that kind of just caught everyone off guard. I think that probably did not set a good precedent right before he took office. But yeah, still waiting. Holding 90% in Bitcoin still hurts. 90% Bitcoin is probably hurting a lot less than a lot of people that are holding way more in alts. So it will hurt me to get my full Bitcoin and put it into alts. Your thoughts? I don't really get what that means, but you got to make a decision, man. If you want to go more into alts because you feel the time is right, then you feel then make the move. You don't have to go all in right away. You could do increments. You could go slowly, right? You don't have to go like convert one Bitcoin all at once. You could do very little at once. Remember, you could sell your Bitcoin in fractions. Definitely want BTC Fed Reserve. What do you think about Elon possibly talking to Charles in March? I don't know. I don't know how serious Elon is about any of the crypto leaders. He talks to Billy Marcus sometimes, the Doge founder, but I've never really seen him have a good conversation with any of the other crypto leaders. It would be a change if he did do something big with Charles or Vitalik or any of the guys, Anatoly. But so far, I haven't seen him really take any crypto leaders seriously. But if he does, that'd be good. But Elon's in some hot waters right now. 50% of people love him. 50% of people really, really hate him at this point. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if that's a good thing. If he gets behind Charles, I'm not even sure the community would like that. I bet 50% of Cardano community wouldn't even want that. Ondo versus Mantra. I don't know too much about Mantra, to be honest. It pumped a lot, but I don't know too much about it. I think Ondo has a good future. I just don't know enough about Mantra. Smart Money Advisors Wealth Management Division. What a name. What a screen name. Cardano needs to stay away from Twitter. You mean Charles in particular? Or Cardano altogether? Charles says some crazy things sometimes. He can't help himself. Man, right now, none of the alts are showing strength. Every alt is weak. Yeah, a lot of people are saying SBF is tweeting. I could care less. Really care less. The game is to liquidate both longs and shorts. I honestly think that's the game right now. It's like it's so volatile both ways, and it just keeps going one way or another. Alberto says, BTC long term, you're right, but it would be a shame to think altcoins won't pump more once we hit this next pump. You know what? I think the alts, definitely, a lot of the good ones, the ones that I've been talking about and supporting, I think a lot of them definitely will come back and hit new highs. But more and more, I'm just starting to think that this altcoin season is not going to be like previous altcoin seasons. It's not going to be anywhere close to be like previous altcoin seasons because the money is just not flowing in like before. Before you had all this money flow in from Bitcoin into the alts. This time around, it's not flowing in from Bitcoin. You just have stable coins flowing in and then memes, but they're all like short-term investors. They're all lettuce hands. So they just like leave right away when there's panic. So the long-term holders are still in Bitcoin and you have the institutions in Bitcoin. So that's why the alts are so weak. So I don't know. I don't know if the altcoin season is going to be the same as previous times. Kyle, do you think tournaments will be good for DFK? Well, let's just say it won't hurt. You know, whether it's going to bring more users or make Jewel go up, I really don't know. But it's a new aspect to the game, so that's good. I just don't know how many people will be playing it. How many new players, I should say, will be playing it. Franco, Tron has remained unaffected by the big dump today. Do you think a safe haven against more volatile? No. I don't trust anything with Tron. Okay. I don't trust anything from Tron, from Justin. You know, there's just too much stuff going on there. I don't trust them. So it's a good time to buy Dogecoin. Everything's down, so yes. I don't think this is going to be a good thing. I really think this isn't true. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't think this is going to be good. People got rich in 2017 and 2021. Yeah, RG, of course. But they got rich, most people got rich in just like a few months. And they were at the tail end. In 2017, people got rich towards the end at the last month, December and January. That's when the alts went up crazy. 2021 was the same thing. It was really the tail end after Bitcoin dropped down to 28 and then started coming up to 69,000. That's when the alts went up, right? It's always the last few months. That's when altcoin season hits. That's when most money is made. It's going to be the same this time, except altcoin season may not be the same this time. But maybe I'm wrong and altcoin season is exactly the same. The tail end of this cycle, everything starts going up, just like all previous cycles. I hope that's the case. Everything will go up 5 to 10x, 20x. Everyone's going to make a boatload of money. That's how these cycles work. It's always a tail end when everything starts skyrocketing. But prior to that, you still see good moves. It's not like we haven't. It's not like everything's been wiped out to this cycle. No. But things are looking a little bit different for alts right now, I gotta say. All right, guys. Let's conclude on this note. So Citadel, probably not a good thing for crypto. Probably a threat. there are many things that are threats. Okay. Today, a lot of FUD. This is probably one of them. Okay. But despite all this, there are still a lot of great things going on in this space. Okay. So hang in there. HODL and hang in there. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time as usual, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys. Have a good one. Take care.